so they get together. And Duff booked a tour from LA back to Seattle, his hometown. And, he was playing in punk bands, so we knew a bunch of, like, little clubs on the way, too.
Yeah.
So we kind of, like, had the connections to make that happen.
Yeah.
And this tour ended up being a fucking disaster. And it's funny, because I think, actually, Slash and Steven weren't technically in the band until they were about to go on the tour, right?
Yeah, because in a way, they kind of hated Slash. In a way, they didn't want him to join the band, and Slash was like following them around for a while, trying to join.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if they knew he was like a Hollywood kid. I don't know what the deal was, but they really hated him.
He's just too good. He's going to make us all look bad.
That's probably what it is. Axl's like, hey, I'm the chick magnet here, all right?
And Duff doesn't have to say anything. He's just standing there. He's like, really?
I'm just tall.
I'm just the tall, good-looking,
blonde
pretty
guy.
one.
That's just me.
I don't have to, say anything. But, no, so Duff booked this tour, and it was like, the other drummer and guitarist definitely could tell it was a little bit of a makeshift tour, because they were like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I'm going to go on this tour.
Right.
And the thing is, I don't really remember their names, and neither does history, because guess what? You fucked up.
Yeah.
You really fucked up by not going on this tour. They didn't want to go on the tour, so that's when Slash and Steven came in, and they rehearsed for like 2 days before they went on the tour. So they're going on this tour from LA to Seattle, like, West Coast tour, and their car breaks down like immediately. So you have one of two choices. Are you going to give up? Are you going to go back? Or are you just going to figure it the fuck out?
You got to write this story, man.
So they figured it out. They were like, shit, we'll just hitchhike 1,000 miles with our guitars, 5 guys on the fucking sidewalk, like on the side of the highway in leather jackets, looking like we just got kicked out of a motorcycle gang with our guitars.
I'm definitely giving these guys a ride.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't driving around with like a full cargo van that just happens to have room for these 5 men?
Yeah.
That to give them a ride all the way up to Seattle.
Oh, they must be part of some type of barbershop quartet.
Yeah, they must be singing doo-wop on the side. But so they eventually hitchhiked the entire tour.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Absolutely insane. Welcome to earlier times.
Yeah, you couldn't do that anymore.
No, people would just beat you up just because you're hitchhiking. They're just like, I don't normally beat people up or stop on the road, but you're out here hitchhiking and I got to teach you a lesson.
You look like someone that should get beat up. But, yeah, no, so they eventually made it to these shows, but then, they literally just started as a band, so nobody was at these fucking shows, so then the club promoters are trying to, like, not pay them at all, and fucking Axl's, like, basically, like, assaulting the club owners, like, we need some money or we're gonna fucking die, we need to eat, like, we have no money. Like,
yeah, absolutely, and that's what Jesus would do.
Right. And
we're
his manager, that was the pastor, that's what he suggested. He was like, God wants you to rob these club owners.
Yes.
And Axl was like, well, who am I to argue with God? Right? So that's what they do. And they eventually, they make it back to LA. And after that, they're just like this.
Yeah.
They're like, we've already been through the shit. This was our first tour.
Chapter 1.
Chapter fucking 1 in the... What a crazy way to start a band.
Yeah.
Like, that's forging a band in the fire.
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's no easing into it. They're just like, all right, we're hitchhiking 1,000 miles to play fucking rock and roll music.
Because what are you going to do? I mean, in America, like, LA is like the epitome. Like, you've already been there. To the beach, to the sun, to the fun, to the girls, to the music. Yeah. Like, go on tour, go hitchhike. Like,
Yeah.
And
it just shows how like dedicated they were and how real they were.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other, bands from this time. Would they have done that? I'm not going to call anyone out. I think there's a lot of like pretty boys from this era that were not about to just try to hitchhike 1,000 miles to play a show and possibly make $5.
Exactly. And break a heel? No.
And by the time they get there, their hair would be all flat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants that.
Nah.
So they were just always really fucking about that rock and roll shit. Like, that was all they knew. Mm-hmm. Like, that was all they were trying to do.
Yeah.